Hi everybody, Jennifer Blevin-Smith here with Integral Clinic Solutions, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Navigating the Business of Medicine. Today we're going to talk about the second half of the process for billing secondary insurances. If you missed the first half of this series, please check out the first video that was released, and then you'll want to watch this one because the last video will set the precedence and basically the setup for where we're going to resume in this video. I broke it up into two separate videos because it was going to be way too long, and this should help you understand the process of secondary billing. So let's assume that we have forwarded the claim onto the secondary insurance to Aetna, and they come back and they process it and they send us a response either via EOB paper or ERA electronic. And this is going to be the breakdown. So they processed the 99213 at $120 because that's what was left over up here. And their adjustment or discount is $30. So 120 minus 30 is $90 for their total allowed amount. Now, the patient only has to hit a $50 deductible for them to start paying their coinsurance. So the patient's responsibility is going to be $50 right off the top because $90 is more than 50, and then that difference of the $40 is going to be split 80-20. So from this $90, we know the patient is automatically going to pay the $50, so we know they owe $50. And then the $40 that's left over, 80% of that is $32. So the coinsurance amount that the insurance will start paying is the 80% on these fees, and that's $32 for this line item, which leaves $8 difference to make that 40. So the patient's responsibility total for this line item is $58. It's $50 for the deductible and $8 for their portion of this discount, of this allowed amount. Now, the venipuncture, the patient has already hit their $50 deductible up here, so they don't have to hit it again, right? It's only once in a coverage season. So the $5 was the billed amount, the adjustment is $2, it leaves $3. So the patient is only responsible for 60 cents of that $3 because that is 20% of $3. The 80% is $2.40, and that's what the insurance pays. So the insurance should send a check or automatically deposit $58.40 into your practice bank account, and then the patient will receive a statement saying they're responsible for $64.60, and that's after both insurances process. And again, we have the same remark codes over here. It's saying that the patient responsibility is coinsurance and deductible, and the second line is just coinsurance. Now down here, I broke it down for you a little further. So the total amount for 99213 is $90, $50 for the Aetna deductible, leaving $40 to be split for the coinsurance, which we talked about, the 80-20. 80% of 40 is 32, so Aetna pays that amount, and the patient's responsible for the 20% or the difference of $8. And like I said, since the patient hit their $50 deductible in the first line item, they don't have to worry about any deductible on the second line item and only pay that 60 cents. So this is going to be a very basic high level. Sometimes you might see that they include the charges here of $180 and $20 from the very original claim and do different calculations, but it should still come out the same. It might just look different, okay? But they're still going to apply it towards a deductible if the patient has a deductible on their secondary, or their copay if they have a copay on their secondary. A good rule of thumb is to never collect a copay if a patient has two insurances, because chances are it's not going to be a huge responsibility. Now, if the patient had Medicare as their primary insurance and Medicaid as their secondary, that's what we refer to as a dual plan or a Medi-Medi plan. And those are a little bit trickier. And so I just put some points down here I would like people to be aware of. Medicare will actually automatically forward the claims to Medicaid after they process it, assuming that the provider or the group billing the Medicare claim is participating and in network with Medicare, and that they're aware that the patient has a Medicaid plan, which obviously, because it's all government, usually they do. So they do the courtesy of forwarding that to Medicaid, which is really nice because that's one less thing your billers would have to do. It is not very common that Medicaid pays very much or anything at all on claims as secondary, because usually the amount Medicare pays on a line item is more than what Medicaid would allow. And that's because Medicaid's reimbursement for CPT codes are even lower than Medicare's reimbursement. And so if you think about it, if Medicare pays $100 for a service and Medicaid only allows $80, they're not going to pay again, because essentially you got $20 more than what they would have paid, and it would create a weird scenario where it would look like the patient has a credit on their account. So there will be times that you will get ERAs or EOBs over that the Medicaid doesn't pay anything, and you'll see a remark code that explains that the primary paid more than the secondary allows, basically. And then also, 99% of the time, you cannot balance bill patients after Medicaid processes as a secondary insurance, because when you sign with Medicaid and you're participating, you say that you won't balance bill your patients, so those would have to be adjusted or written off. There are some very, very few, like 1% chance that you could have an MCO Medicaid plan in your area where the patient could be responsible for a very, very small copay amount, like a $3 copay or something. Those are very rare, but I have seen them. So you would just need to make sure the plans in your area and what patient cost shares are, if any. Now, I just want to wrap this video up with an example of an EOB. Now, this is a really nice EOB. It's very pretty. It's very straightforward. They're not standardized, unfortunately. So this is courtesy of Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina. I took it offline, so here's the web page if you wanted to go visit it. But basically, it breaks it all down for you. And again, I have a video on how to read EOBs, but because I kind of had to do my mock presentation up here of them, I just wanted to show you again what a real one would look like. Electronic remittance advices are going to look a little different because they're electronic, not paper, but they still will have the same information. The thing I would like to bring to your attention on this screen is the reason code or the remark code, just like I used the pound signs or the hashtags as they're now called in today's society up here, just to keep them very generalized and generic, but they will put what their codes mean, and anything that is pertaining to line items on that document will be referenced below. And it's really important to read those and understand what they mean, because they will guide you and tell you what's going on and how to post it. If you have any questions or comments, again, please leave it in the comments below, just like our friend Cruising did. Cruising, I hope you see this video. I hope this gives you at least a basic understanding of how the flow works and how it goes. If you guys have any questions or comments, I always love feedback for anything, so please don't hesitate. Smash the thumbs up button if today's video was helpful, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much, you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.